Iburu, Iboya, Ibu, Che, everybody in Cyberland, fair Babalao. At least I hope so. Omo doing dileke. Many blessings to you all. Muyumba Lodumani, Muyumba Lofi, Muyumba Otrupon, Muyumba all the divinities. But here's something that I'm coming at you with. Sequel to the Help Me Help You, right? This is my third one. Knocking them out. Been a little busy lately, but I want to make sure that I get to each and every single one of you, because that's what we do. That's what we do, right? We're here to learn, we're here to teach, and we're here to repeat, right? That's all we're gonna do, because we're gonna learn from each other. This particular sign that we're gonna talk about today is one called Otrupon Ika. Okay, and when we talk about Otrupon Ika, it's a couple of things we gotta figure out first, right? One is that Otrupon Ika is with Omo Shango. Okay, why do they complement each other? Well, Otrupon Ika is when we have the representation of the axe. We talk about Ogun, we talk about Elewa, Obatala. Now we have Shango, who also has a representation of an axe, and you see him in figures with his axe. But we got to be careful on who we put the axe with. So for my Omo Shangos, the axe is going to go with Ogun, not with Shango. Okay, why? And there's a pataki that talks about the whys. And it goes, give you a paraphrase. Obatala was trying to find a house for his followers. Could never find a nice house for them. And Lewa was tasked to go figure out where Orumila was living in order for them to take the disciples over there so that they can live with Orumila. And Lewa was real stubborn, didn't want to tell him. He was trying to hold that secret because that was a secret of Orumila. And only Lewa knew how to get there. So long story short, he began to manipulate some things, which then resulted to Ogun coming with his axe, starts chopping down trees, almost to the point where he chops down the Seba tree. Okay, the Seba is a very sacred tree within this faith. Okay, so moral of the story. Well, Elewa was trying to take his secret to the grave. Elewa had made a pact with Obatala to reveal the secret of where Orumila was at. Elewa did not. So for all my Bawalaos, for all my followers, the Aleos, okay, everyone needs to understand why we say Elewa doesn't have a house. Elewa lives outside. And this story relates to why one of the punishments that Obatala levied on Elewa because of that. So this particular pataki is a reference to that. So for Otrupon Ika, I tell you, put the axe inside of Ogun. You're going to wash it. You're going to feed it. Work with your godfather, okay, to get that done. In Otrupon Ika, we also talk about the responsibility of the person to use their head. Because in Otrupon Ika, no different than how Elewa lost his house and how Obatala was trying to find his disciples' house, a home to live, Otrupon Ika suffers and will always suffer with having a stable home. Okay, that stability in the house is important. Otrupon Ika has to be careful because enemies are in the midst. Enemies are everywhere. Trouble just seems to follow Otrupon Ika. And that's why the axe inside of Ogun, right, prepared properly and everything done properly, no matter what, it's going to work out for you. I promise you that. I promise you that. There's a couple other things that you do with Osain, with Ogun, in order for you to flip some of these misfortunes that lead to this sign, that follows this sign. So you got to go back to your godfather and talk to him about it. Talk to him about it. These things are very important, okay? Otrupon Ika, at the end of the day, has a little bit more of a difficult sign on how to peel back that onion, particularly for this one. And when we talk about Hijos de Shango, a Babalao has to attend this sign a lot when it comes out for a godson, because there's things that you got to do with Shango and the Opun, right? The divination table, where they marked your sign for your mano de orula. Otrupon Ika has to understand that. All right. There's things about Otrupon Ika that I want you to understand. The illnesses, the sicknesses, the stomach, all right? The hidden enemies, the constant wars. I'm very, very, very concerned about health when I see Otrupon Ika because I worry about cancerous type things. Otrupon Ika, please try your best to take care of yourself health-wise because those things matter at the end of the day. I hope that understands. In this sign, I talk about the enemies, and I talk about how the enemies can be anywhere, right? But the enemies particularly come back to your home. I mentioned a pataki with home for a reason, because everything is happening in the home. And when we say the word ile, and I know I've said this in a couple of videos, we're talking about yourself, your body, your vessel is an ile. Okay? Your physical home is an ile. Your spiritual home is another ile. Go to your Godfather. Okay? Go to your Godfather, because your Godfather is going to lead you to success. And don't ever forget that. All right? The other big thing about this sign is this is a hierarchy. And we talk about a hierarchy to Olofin, which means to us that there's a ladder. And when there's a ladder, that means we have to organize. When we say we organize, then I'm going to tell you, Otrupon Ika, with Omo Shango, that things need to be organized in your life. You got to be careful with the favors that you're going to do for people. You got to start to look at things a little bit more objectively, not subjectively. So therefore, you need to use logic. Control your home. Control your home. All right. Once you have your home set up, once you have your vessel set up, you have your physical home set up, and you begin to get rid of some of those barriers that are keeping you from being truly happy in life, you are going to be a lot better. You're going to begin to walk better, think better. Okay. In this sign, even you in your sleep, when I talk about your vessel, does not sit well. You don't even sleep well at times. That's the reason you got to put a cup of water underneath your bed. Otrupon Ika has to do that in order to give you clarity in your mind. Otrupon Ika has a lot, okay? And there's constantly going to be that war, okay? It's constantly going to be that war. And, and a lot of people don't want to hear that, but a lot of blockage, a lot of barriers. That's why you got to be on top of the boss. Got to be on top of the Godfather. Hey, Padrino, I got a problem. This is what we got going on. So for Otrupon Ika, Omo Shango will always be victorious. So as long as you have Shango on your side, all right, you're gonna be great. You're gonna be great. Okay, Shango, Mafara Fun Shango. Again, do the ebos that you have to do. Feed the door of your house. Feed the door of your head, your Ori. Begin to organize yourself, and you're gonna be great. All right, guys, that's Otrupon Ika. All right. Like always, give me a like, give me the share. La.regla.de.ifa@gmail.com. We are always here for you. So tuning out. Iburu, Iboy, Abu Cheche. Blessings to you all.